Hello, welcome back to the Clarity Podcast on video. I really didn't want to start videoing these podcasts, but if I want it to grow, it's something that I've just had to bite the bullet and do. So, welcome back from my bedroom and my little crappy camera on my laptop. So, bear with me as always, please. Yeah, I'm not really sure how many more episodes I'm going to do in this series. I'm literally just doing this as and when it feels right, and I'll keep going until it doesn't feel right anymore. The meaning behind this podcast was to do something that I enjoy doing and to just follow that, like I spoke about in the Spark episode. So that's what I'm going to do. So just going to keep flying, and I hope that you're going to come along for the journey with me. There's still a million more things that I want to speak about. And I think today actually would be a really good idea to discuss something that I don't think is spoken about enough, but something that has been prevalent to me lately, which is always how these topics come about. So it's the feeling of loneliness that can come when you awaken. And I just want to address that and talk about that today because it happens to all of us. And yet we all still feel alone in it. So then just throughout your journey of self, throughout your life, it can come in waves. And I want everybody to feel more positive about that rather than it feeling like a negative feeling. And I want to speak about it also because I get quite a few messages from people, especially in the past 2 years. They could be friends, acquaintances, people that I've worked with in the past, people that I went to school with, sometimes completely random people. It's a whole array of different souls on different journeys reaching out to me sporadically. And it's always usually in moments where something is going on in their life, a difficult time or a low moment or a really transformative chapter. And they want someone to talk to. And I think I'm very open on my platforms and my socials. I think it's probably quite clear what my values are and what I believe in and the work that I'm doing on myself. And I'm a bit of an open book. So for some reason that obviously resonates with people who are in those moments too. And I feel completely honoured to be that person. The fact that someone would say she would understand me or she might be able to help me is something that I don't take lightly at all. But something I've realised through all those conversations is that those moments that they are in are awakenings for them, transformative chapters. They've realised something, they're having an epiphany. They've hit a moment where something doesn't align anymore. Or they've learned something about themselves, about self-worth, about their life, and they've had to make a decision or they've had to action a change. And from my perspective, I can see that they are elevating, they are moving into a new version of themselves. But the reason that they are reaching out is because they feel lonely, not because they are physically alone, but because they feel like the people around them wouldn't understand what they're going through in that moment, or they don't have the people around them who have experienced what they're going through. We are designed to crave connection from the second we're born. We need it throughout our whole lives. We need it to process. But with that need comes a bit of an obstacle in the sense that the people who can truly fully understand you in those moments can be few and far between, because not everyone is elevating or awakening at the same speed or the same rate or in the same realm. And it's especially hard when you're going through an awakening because you create your world based on your current frequency. So our 3D world, everything that we see and we are the main characters of, has been created. We naturally surround ourselves with people, environments, relationships that match where we are in that moment. Everything is energy. So the life you have around you is a reflection of the version of you that created it. So then if something shifts and you grow and you learn and you elevate, suddenly you're not on that frequency anymore. Does that make sense? So if you've ever struggled in relationships or friendships or family dynamics, a lot of the time it can come down to that. Two people can be good people with good intentions, but they're just not on the same frequency. So they don't quite get each other. And that's okay. We're not meant to get along with everyone. We're not meant to resonate with everyone. But I'm trying to think of a way to explain it. Imagine the world, and instead of time zones with longitude and latitude, imagine frequencies. So let's say there's 10 levels of the frequencies around the earth, like the longitude, latitude lines. A proportion of the population will fit into each frequency, depending on where they're at in life. And everyone is existing on slightly different levels. And the more we move between them throughout our lives, the more we learn, the more we elevate, go through something and you learn and you grow. When you make a change, when you leave something behind, when you step into something new, you move, you shift, you go up a level, like a spiral, like a spiritual spiral. And when that happens, it can feel like the people around you are suddenly below you, for lack of a better word, or just not on your frequency anymore. Not in a negative way at all, but just in an understanding. And that's where I think the loneliness can come in. It's not always physical. It's just because you've moved, but your environment hasn't caught up yet. So it can feel really hard to sit with people that you love and that you have had around you your whole life and feel like you're not being fully understood anymore. And then what often comes with that is solitude as a consequence. Whether it's a day, whether it's a week, a month, a season of your life, sometimes you are called into solitude, or sometimes someone around you is called into solitude and they say they're going to get off their phone, go away for a while, whatever it may be. And I just really want to normalize that, because it doesn't mean you're weird. It doesn't mean you're a loner. It doesn't mean that something is wrong with you or them or whoever it is. It doesn't mean you don't like people anymore. It just means that you're processing. It means that you're going within. And that's a natural part of life. It will happen multiple times throughout your life. We need connection, yeah, but we also need solitude. And the two things can exist at the same time. You can need solitude and still feel lonely as well. And that's okay. Solitude is beautiful because it allows you to sit with your own mind, to hear yourself, to process without external influences. Because as amazing as friendships and family are, sometimes their advice can steer you away from what you know is true. Sometimes it's unsolicited. Sometimes it opposes what you feel in your heart. But in solitude, you can hear you, only you. Even something as simple as making time to go for a walk and making sure that you don't put music on. That is something that I've come to learn to do, is not always fall into the safety net and the comfort blanket of music all the time, or background noise filling the space. Just going for a walk with you and your thoughts. It can feel uncomfortable because suddenly it's just you and you've got to face things. But if that scares you, if the idea of that scares you, then That's where the work is. That's usually a sign that's there's something to work on there. And I think this links back to something deeper. I was journaling this morning and all of a sudden I remembered something from when I was younger. When I was little, probably up until about the age of 9 or 10, I was such a wild, bubbly, silly, playful little soul. It's absolutely crackers. Just completely myself. But I remember moments where I would do something playful or joyful or silly, and people would laugh. Not even people, my friends would laugh or snigger, and not in a nice way. It felt belittling, you know? And I remembered this morning the exact moments of shutting down. Like, oh, I I can't be that. I need to fix that. I need to dim that part of me. I remember consciously locking that part of myself away, like shut down. Like it goes over there. No, don't do that again. And I think we all do that. Well, I know we all do that because it's psychology. But as children, we didn't care who understood us. We just would exist in what brings us joy. And then we learned to filter it out somewhere later on in life. So remind yourself of that when you grow, when you awaken, when you reconnect with yourself. You can feel different and isolated and like nobody understands you. And that difference can feel lonely, but actually, it's a good thing. It's because it's you coming back to yourself. And I think another really important part of this is how we then respond to those feelings. Again, I caught myself this morning feeling in lack of. It was a small moment of feeling like I just wanted to cuddle, just a little pang of wanting connection. And I noticed my thoughts going into lack, into victim mentality, into I don't have someone. I wish I had someone. So I stopped and I thought, right, this is ridiculous because you have so much to be grateful for. And there's a reason why you are alone right now in solitude. So I wrote down, I got really honest with myself and I wrote down all of the phrases that I say when I'm in that mindset. Things like, I don't have anybody, I don't have time to do that. Honestly, the truth hit me like a smack in the face. Because we say those things all the time without realizing, don't we? In small talk, like when you meet someone or you're chatting with a friend, it's the first thing you say. You moan about life or the things that you're in lack of. So I wrote them all down and I got into my gratitude mindset and I rearranged everything. I rewrote the phrases honestly, as though someone else was looking at my life from the outside, someone who doesn't have what I have or who would love to have what I have. And I flipped every single one. Instead of, I can't afford that, I wrote, choosing to place my abundance elsewhere right now. Instead of, I'm lonely or I'm craving connection, I wrote down, I'm transforming. I'm honoring this time with myself to learn. I'm learning how to be on my own. I'm learning how to give myself what I'm looking for externally. And it completely shifted my perspective. There's so much more to it that I obviously won't go into because it's personal things. But honestly, the things that I would say on the daily with regards to the language that I was using in lack of, when actually that wasn't the case whatsoever, was alarming. It shifted my perspective because we can flip anything. And it doesn't mean ignoring your feelings. If you feel lonely, feel it. Absolutely sit in it. Cry if you need to, write about it. but don't build a home there. Let it move through you, let it transmute, because it will pass. Even if you were to write a poem about it or journal about it or decide to go and get a coffee and people watch, it's transmuting it, it's shifting it from something that's really negative that you could dwell in and turning it into something positive that you can allow the energy to move through you in. And something I really want you to take from this episode, if anything else at all, is that people not understanding you is okay. Honestly, we don't understand everyone, so we can't expect everyone to understand us. If someone says to you, I don't understand you right now, or I don't understand you anymore, or something's changed, I don't understand you, I don't get what's happening, all you need to do is say, that's okay. And genuinely be okay with that. That is okay. That's not a bad thing. And sometimes being misunderstood means that you've grown. It means you've learned something. It means you've elevated. You are not in lack. You are in gain, I believe. You are in abundance of awareness. And other people might not be there yet. And that's okay. That's why they don't understand where you're at if you've awakened. So if you feel different, that's a good thing. And if you feel lonely, try and find gratitude in that space, because it is space. To do that, it's a gift. You've been gifted space to figure that out and to feel that. I promise you now, there are people living in chaos who would give anything for stillness, for a moment of quiet. So if you are able to create that for yourself, give yourself that solitude, even if it is a day or an hour here and there, or carving time out in the week, or moving somewhere for a chunk of time, use it. Reflect. Get to know yourself. Because that's where clarity comes from. And if you are in the depths of it and it feels heavy, then I want you to know that I am here. I will always honor anyone who reaches out to me. You are not alone. We are all part of the same thing, the same energy, the same consciousness. We're just experiencing it in different ways. And anything you've lost, anything that's changed, anyone who has fallen away because of your awakenings has done so because you've grown. So be proud of that. You are creating your life. If you've learned new things, outgrown certain situations, awakened to reality, or the illusion's been lifted for you, or you're seeing things differently now, embrace it. And if people fall away, or you need solitude, or you feel lonely because people don't understand you anymore, we are all in that together. I love you so much. See you soonies.